Listen up, you maggots. Sweezy's the new boss in town, and you all gotta do what I say. I'm gonna whip your shit into shape. Any questions?
No, ma'am. No, ma'am.
We were just filing paperwork.
Oh, just tell us what you want us to do, ma'am.
Kiss each other on the mouths.
What the fuck?
In this video, I'm gonna talk about high on life. Do you jerk off to Rick and Morty? Do you drop your pants, step out of them, part your legs, and while standing erect, put both hands on your genitals and go to town? Do you have an entire gallery of artwork of every single character, important or insignificant, dressed and undressed, on your local machine, your Dropbox, an offsite storage, and the blockchain just to make sure you always have a backup of these priceless cultural treasures? Can you recite every page of its fandom wiki domain from memory? Did you explore the Pickle Rick joke so completely that you now unironically find it funny again? Have I got news for you, my friend? This game is for you. If you have no idea what Rick and Morty is, stay tuned. Put a pin on that subject and I will come back to it at a strategic time. For now, put up with me mentioning the names a bunch of times. This game is literally Rick and Morty, the game. Your knife is Rick. Your gun is Morty. They are Rick and Morty in all but name. The other guns are supporting characters, and it is clear from the get-go that the entire game can be played with the starter gun and pretty much nothing else. The first noticeable detail is that the starting gun is by far the most accurate and also the safest way to get into a fight. The upgrades you find for it make it so much more viable than the others that the use of the other guns in a fight is to go for style points. You will have to make up your own style points inside your head, because there is no incentive coming from the game. Let me run through a scenario real quick. You are being confronted by the enemy. You can use the machine gun, but it is so inaccurate that you might as well close the distance and use the shotgun. You pull out the shotgun, and its buzzsaw special ability somehow does not cleave enemies in half in a single hit. You fall back on the grenade launcher and toss out a few to annoy the enemy, and then you either somehow miraculously escape as the victor, or you get too brave and stupid and yourself killed. Now you have to do the whole fight all over again. You do not have time for that shit, so you whip out the starter pistol and you plink everybody at long range so you can move on to the next part of whatever it is you were doing. Which most of the time boils down to running to the next area or looking around for loot boxes. The game tries to style itself as a Metroidvania during the downtimes, in which you obtain movement abilities along the way and they allow you to revisit previous areas and to grab the boxes you could not get to before. These boxes function as your primary source of income, also you can purchase upgrades for your guns. I have not verified it myself, but apparently opening every single box still does not give you enough money to buy every single upgrade by the time you make it to the endgame. So if the shooting and the exploration do not strike the bullseye, what else is left? Comedy. Crass, four-letter word, awkward, cringe, toilet, comedy. It goes up to and including a guy literally eating shit. I recognize that it is a brand of humor like any other. And it is not my place to decrete any one style to be objectively better or worse. It is just that for this one, you have to be perfectly aware of what you are getting yourself into. The game expects you to have done your research, and it responds by crossing the lines even harder, so as to get the reaction it wants out of you. In truth, it is a mildly interactive experience more than a video game. The video game part was never really the focus of the project. Everything looks like it was pulled out of the spare parts bin and used as a silhouette vehicle to deliver a comedy act. The entirety of the product could have just easily been delivered as an animated miniseries, and it might have felt a bit more true to form than whatever ended up taking 60 gigabytes of space on my machine, and with patches that routinely exceeded 10 gigabytes for whatever godforsaken reason. And the completion time is in the realm of 20 hours that feels more like 6 or 7 hours thanks to some unexplainable reality-bending shenanigan. Most of the padding comes in the form of exploration and finding hidden goodies or Easter eggs. If all you do is run through the levels and beat the boss, you could probably speedrun the whole thing in one afternoon, and comfortably at that. Gauging the actual runtime for any average player will completely depend on their adoration for Rick and Morty. The fanbase will be capable of spending at least 36 hours, if not more, just to enjoy all the tiny jokes and references and non sequiturs, and the full-length 90-minute movie playing in the theater. The more peripheral enjoyers will play this like any other video game, and then stand around like a confused Travolta after investing their time and asking the one question nobody can answer. How did a video game turn out to become such a non-video game? Alright, if you have no idea what Rick and Morty is, I am choosing this here moment to explain it. At the end of the video. Up to this point, I have been referencing that thing without actually providing any context as to what it is beside a surface-level reaction. Rick and Morty is a cartoon that delivers its material through absurdist and often crass humor. It freely crosses the boundary of the unacceptable in its exploration of a post-comedic medium, and if what I am saying right now sounds like total hogwash, it is because my degree is in computer science, not literature. If you are listening to me right now, I am probably not the first person talking about the subject while simultaneously having no idea what he is talking about. Put a pin on that sentence as well. An outsider looking into this will find themselves looking around at a world that makes only symbolic sense compared to reality. If you miss the train, you can maybe catch up to it, but you will have better luck trying to become a billionaire. The TV Tropes article for Rick and Morty contains no less than 11 subdivisions, 7 of which are dedicated to the countless examples of one single trope. By the time you are done reading through all of that material, it will have swelled to 1.5 times its original size, and made you the Achilles against the turtle. Make peace with the fact that if you are an outsider, you will be chasing after an asymptotic epiphany in some attempt to be part of the in-crowd with an original cohort that objectively suffers from the same problem as you. But they are so blissfully lost in the sauce that they do not realize the promised nirvana is completely made up and never really existed. They declared their own version of it, planted their stake, and went on to swim from one reference to another, knowing that their fellow originals will answer back without question. It becomes a social contract centered entirely around posturing with code words. Do you feel viscerally terrible if I tell you that the narwhal bacons at midnight? If you do, then you have seen this before, and you know where it comes from. Mind you, there is no gatekeeping. This is not My Little Pony. Everybody is welcome to enjoy the franchise, and they are even encouraged to do so. But you will not get any hand-holding along the way. Those who like what happens in there will stick around until they appear to be part of the in-crowd. Those who do not like it will walk away and feel closure upon having reached their conclusion. Those who do not get it will walk away, feeling more confused than ever.
Hey, don't make me grab my baseball bat! Fuck you! Fucking idiot! Fuck you!
In short, this game is the metaverse.